We had a neighbor, a close friend of ours, call us earlier this afternoon saying that their son's 1964 Falcon Sprint had a problem with a battery and wanted to know if I'd be willing to test the battery and help with the situation. Well, of course, they're Mustang people. I'd be happy to help. So I got my equipment out for testing, for charging, and she showed up a little while later with the battery. Now, the battery is a die-hard, and it looks on the side or the top label like it says it's 650 cold cranking amps, which is pretty good cranking amperage for a battery this size. So the first thing I did after she put it down is I hooked up this Foxwell Battery Analyzer BT705. Now, this isn't some little rinky-dink voltmeter pretending to do big stuff. It's actually a nice unit, but I haven't ever put it up against a carbon pile tester. I thought, what a great opportunity. So I went ahead and did an external test, and it showed the battery had a 500 cold cranking amp capacity, but only had 37 cold cranking amps available. Now, they do that without a carbon pile, apparently by sending in what I have read to be like microcircuits and testing internal resistance and looking at things that these things don't look at. This is a brute compared to something like this. So I went ahead and hooked up our battery charger and set it for a fairly simple, I think that's a 10 amp, 10 amp per hour charge rate. After 20 minutes, I hooked up the Foxwell tester again, and this time it said it had 387 cold crank amps available. Now, I didn't bother doing the carbon pile test at C because I just wanted to charge the battery. I was just curious what this would say about a half hour, 20 minutes in. So now that's about 3 hours ago. On a 10 amp charge, I only did 10 amp charge because if this battery was as dead as it seemed to be, charging it too fast will overheat the battery and cause the sulfation that's on the lead plates to break off. And then we're in some real trouble. Then the battery is going to be ruined. So I decided to just go ahead and give it 10 amps. I probably would have done 2 amps, except I really wanted to do this when it wasn't too late at night. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn off the charger, disconnect it, use this little unit here to see what it says about the battery, and then I'll put it on the carbon pile test, load it about 250 amp load for 15 seconds, and the voltage should stay at or above 9.6 volts. If it does that, the battery is in good condition and is well charged. If it fails, then it indicates that the battery might be able to hold voltage, but doesn't have the amperage capacity for one reason or another. And it could simply be that the battery was discharged for so long and so far that the plates are still sulfated. It's possible I can put a 2 amp charge in this thing for a week, but then that person has to ask himself, at the end of the week, is it really going to be that much better? And if we're looking for a fast solution, why wait a week? Go ahead and get another battery. Turn this one in for recycling. Okay, so first thing I'll do is I'll turn off the process. Then I'll turn off the charger. Then I will take off the negative cable first, and then positive. Put this one aside. Then I'll hook up the Foxwell. Apparently, Foxwell makes good diagnostic equipment. I never read anything bad about their equipment. Okay, 12.91 volts. Menu, battery test, 12 volt, regular, out of vehicle, top post, and this is a regular lead acid battery. Cold cranking amps is still rated at 500. Now it's going to test. Now this says that it's a good battery. Previously it said bad battery before it's fully charged. It says it's rated at 500 cold cranking amps, but it has 550 cold cranking amps available. So that's nice to see. Reading of 5 to 10 milliohms is good. Under 5 is considered excellent. Here we have 6.54 milliohms, which is really in good shape. OH is state of health, 92% is really good. SOC, state of charge, 100% charged. The SOH, SOC, but previously these were both down like 30%, 40%, so this is significantly different compared to what I've seen before. So now we're going to see with my carbon file tester what this thing is really capable of. Now, if you take a look, you see that these leads have really heavy gauge wire. That must tell somebody who's watching we're about to have some real fun. And these are some serious clamps. This is not cheap little stamped metal. These are really strong and heavy. And they have some lines cut in here. So when I put this around the post and move it, it's gonna bite and bite good and hard. No amps yet. And we are reading, looks like 12.6 volts. I want it to stay to the right of this green part of the battery test bar after I have this on for 15 seconds. Now, I'm not sure if this unit or a different unit has a built-in timer where I apply the load and it starts the countdown for me. And then it beeps after 15 seconds. So I'm going to simply count off 15 seconds and we'll be able to see how far this needle drops and how much reserve capacity this thing has. So I'm on the 12 volt bar and I'm going to It's rated at 650 amps on the label, but Foxwell says 500. So I'm going to put about 250 amp load on this thing and then count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, it did go off. And look, it stayed above 9.6 volts. I'm going to review this recording and make absolutely sure that it records what I think I just saw. Because I think I just saw it said this battery is perfectly good. Just like Foxwell said. Now, after having done that load test, I'm curious about what Foxwell is going to report, because I just sucked a lot of juice out of that thing. I've been very impressed with this Foxwell battery tester, and now even more so. I never thought I would see a small, light-duty piece of equipment like that do a really decent job of identifying problems. Okay, menu. Battery test, 12 volt, regular, out of vehicle, top post, regular battery, 500 cold crank amps, testing. Now it says 530 cold crank amps remaining after that draw, and it still says it's a good battery. Okay, until this ends up letting me down somewhere down the road, I'm going to go ahead and accept what I've been reading, what others have said about this, and what I've been seeing with it as being valid. It's a nice piece of equipment. I got mine through Amazon, of course. I get a lot of things from Amazon. And it comes with a nice carrying case. Yeah, I mean, dropped from 92 to 89, and from 90 something much higher, 98 I think, to 93. I'll see in a little bit, and I'll see what the instructions say, what those things represent. But I'm happy, and I'm sure that a dear neighbor and her husband will be happy also to find out they don't have to replace this battery yet.